Today is a historic day when Article 50 is triggered to begin the UK's formal exit from the European Union. Well, joining me now are two of the guilty men who got us here. Richard Tice, who's co-chair of Leave Means Leave, and James McGrory, co-executive director of Open Britain, the Remainer organisation refaceted. Welcome to you both.
Morning.
How hard do you think it's going to be from here, Richard Tice? Is your job done?
It's a historic day, but it's just part of the process, isn't it? You know, the government's had 9 months getting ready, and now we start the 2-year negotiating period. And of course, it's right to have this negotiation and to go into it, you know, with a clear intent of reaching a deal. But it's also very important, as the Prime Minister said, and we in business know, that no deal is better than a bad deal. And, you know, if the EU is not prepared to come up with a win-win situation, then we have to be prepared to say, that's fine, we'll adopt World Trade Organization rules, which of course is what most countries around the world use.
Is no deal acceptable?
Absolutely not. Before the letter's even been handed to Donald Tusk, Richard's already rolling the pitch to strop out and walk away and throw his toys out of the pram, which I don't think is a great start to the negotiations.
But in business, that's what happens. When you start a negotiation, you have to be prepared to walk away.
Look at what the manufacturers' organisation, the EEF, have said this morning. They have said these are the people who make things in this country and export British products all over the world. They have said in no uncertain terms that walking away without a deal would be devastating for their sector and devastating for the British economy. These people know about our economy. They know about making things. They know about exporting things.
These are the same experts that said we should remain, otherwise the economy would fall off a cliff edge the day after we voted. No, but they said things would go badly wrong the day after. Actually, the economy is doing
valuation of the pound.
Yeah, which of course has helped exporters. But the reality is the economy is doing incredibly well.
People trying to buy their weekly shop.
Hang on. Average wages are at or above inflation. People said, you guys said 9 months ago that inflation would go through the roof. It hasn't.
Hang on. I thought the whole idea was we're meant to all be uniting. We're accepting Brexit's happening. That's what the Prime Minister said. Yes, we're not refighting the old
wars. That's why James's organisation, they should come together and help the Prime Minister get the shoulder behind the wheel of a fantastic Brexit success.
You going to do that?
Well, what we want is to hold the government to account for the promises that they have made. Yeah. They have, in no uncertain terms, said that they're going to get a trade deal with the European Union that delivers the exact same benefits we have from the single market.
Do you accept that Britain is leaving the European Union, and are you going to patriotically support the government securing the best deal, or are you going to try and keep the door open to remaining?
Britain is leaving the European Union. That's what Article 50 triggering is about. But the terms on which we leave should be the subject of national debate. And let's bear in mind what the government is promising people. They're promising a trade deal with exact same benefits. They're promising our security relationship is enhanced. Let me finish, Richard. They're promising that the integrity of the union is maintained. They're promising that all rights are protected. I think it's perfectly reasonable for organisations like Open Britain to hold the government to account for the promises that they've made the British people as a result of Brexit. And walking away without a deal is certainly not going to get us the exact same benefits we have today. It's going to see tariffs slapped on all our goods exports.
Well, let's be very clear. The single market has been a bad deal for Britain because we paid in a net 10 billion. We lose almost 100 billion a year.
Mrs Thatcher's proudest achievement in government.
Yeah, but that was then. This is now.
Well, hang on. But you would say it has been a bad deal. It has been a bad deal because
the lowest skilled, lowest paid people in our country have suffered wage suppression over the last 5 to 10 years. That's why they voted out. They knew what had happened.
Those things that James McGrory just listed, which have all been said by ministers, do you accept that those have got to be delivered if the government is going to honour its pact with the British people?
No, they've said that's the objective. But the Prime Minister has also made it very clear, quite rightly, that if we can't achieve a good deal, then we will walk away without a deal, because that's what most trading nations have.
No, but
they haven't promised that. Absolutely,
you sound like that's what you want.
No, I didn't say that's. Look, clearly, that's your base case.
The basis is surely what the British people have been told that they're going to get. The quote David Davis, the exact same benefits.
The base case. The Prime Minister said in January we will try to negotiate for a free trade deal that works for us. But she also said very clearly, she's the Prime Minister, the head of the government, that no deal is better than a bad deal. So that's the base case. A deal would be better than that, but it's not essential.
James McGrory, the Prime Minister said repeatedly that taking back controlling our borders is the priority. And the logic of that is out of the single market and out of the customs union, isn't it? I mean, there's no way around it. That's what she's promised. That's what she's going to deliver in these talks.
Well, the government have chosen a rather hard Brexit course,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And
They've
you
chosen to do that.
They've got a mandate to deliver
I
that, yeah.
I accept that's the path that they have chosen. There was no particular mandate for any one form
Yeah.
of Brexit. They have chosen a particularly
But are you
hard
going to
form.
resist that?
Well, what I'm saying is they've also promised to dramatically reduce immigration to less than 100,000 people net a year. They've promised to deliver more money for public services, alongside all the other promises that I listed before. I don't think it's unreasonable that when the British people voted for something and they were told that they were going to get everything, they were told they were going to get a free pony in every home.
They weren't told that. They were told, for example, that we will save about 10 billion a year. They were told that we will control immigration, and that's what the Prime Minister is going to do. And it's a fantastic. And the great thing about public services, when you've got a faster growing economy, which we've got, and which I believe we'll continue to have, then we'll have more money to invest in the public services.
We're not going to save 10 billion a year if we're having to pay a divorce settlement, are we?
Well, look, that's all to be negotiated. Of course they're going to start out here. We're going to start out there, and we'll probably end up somewhere in the middle.
Just factually, if we end up having... Do you accept that we probably do...
I would
we'll
accept
have to pay a divorce
No,
settlement?
I don't. Not at all. I would say that's a bad deal. You shouldn't do that deal.
I think the idea that you enter into any organisation and don't honour the commitments you've already made, people's pensions, other stuff about banking liabilities,
Okay.
is ridiculous.
We're going to have to leave it there.